Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Recha Kwadash. A double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who were well. Peace and mercy to the Tazadak Akim out there that's laboring his truth. Shalom to the elect. All right. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we're gonna go through the breakdown of Daniel's the 8th chapter. All right, and the way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna break it down into parts. Okay, so I'm gonna probably go up to verse. I'll go to verse 7, 5 or 7. Okay, and then I'm gonna break it down into 3 parts. All right, so let me just get it started. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Belshazzar, a vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, after that which appeared unto me at the first. Okay, and we know that King Belshazzar, he was the king of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Okay, as well as, he was the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, all right, and that vision, was basically, the writings on the wall that Belshazzar he seen, and that Daniel he broke it down to him. All right, going back into the Daniel's the 5th chapter of how his kingdom were going to be brought down by the Medo Persians. All right, and I'm gonna get that. This is Daniel chapter 5 verse. I'm gonna start from 25. It reads, and this is the writing that was written, mean tekel upherzen. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mean, thy power have numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. And I just want to make a quick point, showing you that the Most High, he numbers the kingdoms. All right, he brings a kingdom up and he brings a kingdom down. I just want to get that real quick, through the spirit. All right, and this kingdom that we live in now is going to be brought down eventually. All right, because we know who's ruling the kingdom is the Edomites, so-called white man. So this is Psalm 75, verse. I'm gonna start from verse 6. This is for promotion cometh neither from the east nor from the west nor from the south, but the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and set above another, just like what we were reading in Daniel's the 5th chapter. Okay, that the Babylonian Empire was ruling, but they're about to be brought down. Let's get into it. So this is Daniel's chapter 5 verse 27. To kill, thou art weighed in the balances and art found wanting. Perez, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. Okay, so this is Daniel breaking it down to the king Belshazzar that that his kingdom was going to be brought down and was going to be given to the Medo Persians. Okay, verse 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him that he shall be the 3rd ruler in the kingdom. And that night was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain. All right, and this is talking about when he threw that feast. That same night he was brought down. When you read on up, and verse 31, and Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. All right, so Darius, the Mede, he took the kingdom. Okay. So going back into Daniel's the 8th chapter, this is Daniel's 8 verse 2. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was at Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw in a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Okay, and when you look at this place is on the map is located around like the India, territory. Okay, and they say that the rivers of Ulai, those are good waters to drink from. Okay, verse 3. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. All right, and those two horns represents the Medio and the Persians. Okay, and they were very powerful. All right, horns represents power. Okay, and the one that was higher than the other was talking about the Salakia, talking about the Persian Empire. All right, they were much stronger than the Medes. Okay, and I'm gonna get that in Daniel's 7th chapter. This is Daniel Daniel chapter 7 verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second like to a bear. All right, and this is talking about the Medio Persians. You see how they compared it, to a ram in the 8th chapter. They're referred to as a bear in the 7th chapter. And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. All right, and those 3 ribs represent, Babylon, Lydia, and Egypt. All right, because those are like the territories they conquered, when they came from the east. Okay, and they said unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Yeah, because they conquered, many lands. All right, the Persian Empire, the Medio Persians, they were a great empire, a very strong empire. Okay, So going back into Daniel's the 8th chapter, all right, I'm gonna read verse 3 again. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last, and the ones that was higher than the other was the Persians. Okay, they were much stronger than the Medes. Verse 4. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. There was any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. And who is that talking about? That's talking about Cyrus the Great, who was anointed by the Lord, to be the king of the Persians. Okay, and I'm gonna get that in Isaiah 45. This is Isaiah chapter 45, verse 1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed, you see, to Cyrus, whose right hand have I holden, to subdue nations before him, and I will loose the loins of kings, to open before him the 2-leaved gates, and the gate shall not be shut. So it's showing you that Cyrus the Great, he was anointed by the Lord to be the ruler of the Persians, man, and to conquer. Okay, I'm gonna give him a couple more precepts going into Cyrus. Let me see. I'm gonna read this is 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 22. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth have the Lord thy power of heaven given me. Right? You see? Showing you that the Lord is the one who's, the power is given in the Salakia, that's Satan. Matter of fact, let me just get the precept. Okay? This is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it with her soever he will. Showing you that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right, showing you that the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, is the controller of all things, and rulers and empires. Okay, and he could bring it down whenever he feels like it. All right, let me go back. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 23. Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth have the Lord thy power of heaven given me, and he have charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah, who was there among you of all his people. The Lord his power be with him, and let him go up. And Cyrus the Great allowed the Israelites to build back the temple. Okay, he granted that. But the temple, I believe, was finished when Darius the Mede was ruling. Okay, and he just letting this different Darius's, because that was a title. Okay, so Cyrus the Great was he was powerful, man. He was anointed by the Lord to to be a strong ruler. Okay, and he knew that. That's why he allowed Jake to build up back the temple up. Okay, after the Babylonians destroyed it. Okay. I'm going back into Daniel's the 8th chapter, and I'm gonna read from verse 4, Daniel's 8 and 4, and I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, right? So they was conquering, those lands, westward, northward, and southward, which when you look on the map, it would consist of Asia Minor, India, Babylon, Egypt. Okay, they was conquerors. All right, when you watch the movie 300, you see how strong the Persian Empire was. Okay, there was a strong empire. All right, and they conquered, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. But he did according to his will and became great. Verse 5, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes, and that he-goat is representing, all right, the Greeks, all right, which came from the west, which was Macedon, okay? And that notable horn is talking about Alexander the Great,